Eve keeps a record of the number of lawns she has mowed and the money she has earned. Tell whether the rates of change are constant or variable. So to tell what the rate of change is, the first step we need to do, step number one, is we need to identify in the problem what is the input and what is the output. What is the value that is going into our function and what is the value that is coming out of it. So in this problem, the input is the number of lawns that we're mowing. If I tell you how many lawns that are mowed, you can then tell me how much money was earned. So the amount of money earned is the output. So input is the number of lawns, output is the amount of money earned, and in this case, we're measuring the money in dollars. The reason that is important is because in step number two, when we find the rate of change is always measured in the change in the output divided by the change in the input. Okay, so the rate of change is the change in the output divided by or over the change in the input. So that is the reason why our first step must be to identify which one's the input and which one's the output, because it's got to be output over input. Okay, so once this is done, once we've identified which is which, now the rest is some pretty simple division. So let's go back up to our table and let's look at our first column here, day one. The number of lawns was 1, and the amount of money earned was $15. So if we put our output, $15, over the input, which was 1, we get 15 over 1, which my sources say is 15. So 15 over 1 equals 15. Okay, great. The question was, is the rate of change constant or variable? Constant means it's the same every time, and variable means it varies or it's different every time. So I'm going to do this same process, the same math for days 2, 3, and 4. If I get 15 every single time, it means the rate of change is constant. And if I get a different value for even one of these days, it means the rate of change is variable. So like if day 2 and day 3 are also 15, but then day 4 is 16, the rate of change would be variable. But if they're all 15, that means that the rate of change is constant. So I need to do all of them to make sure that it's constant. So let's take a look at day 2. The output is 45. The input is 3, and 45 divided by 3 is 15. All right, so far so good. Let's take a look at day 3. Day 3 is 90 and 6, so $90 for mowing 6 yards, and 90 divided by 6 is 15. All right, here's where we see if it's constant or variable. The last one, we have 8 yards. Let me put that in a different color. We've got 8 yards, $120, so 120 divided by 8, and that turns out to also be 15. So all 4 days, our rate of change was 15. So what this means is the rate of change is constant. The rate of change is constant. And what is that constant rate of change? It's 15, but 15 what? $15 per yard. That's what the 15 means. It was $15, and I'm being paid $15 for each yard that I mow. So that is the rate of change, $15 per